Hello, I'm Crypto Tyke, and welcome to the channel. I just wanted to have a bit of a talk about something that I've been doing today, and something that was mentioned on Coin Bureau, and also some recently broken news about Poland activating Article 4 of NATO, and just what reaction I've got to all them things. Now, the first thing that were mentioned, as you will see, altcoin season index is 59 out of 100, and one of the guys off of Coin Bureau was saying it's looking very much like we'll hit alt season in October. Now, will we? I don't know. Couldn't possibly say. Now, the price of Solana, where I'm quite happy with what I've got in Solana already, but I want more, just more for staking purposes than anything else, because again, it's another one of those with Ethereum and Bitcoin that I'm not in a rush to sell for profit. I've got other things that I can sell for profit, which does rely a bit on alt season happening. But yeah, anyway, the news, from what he said, he expects alt season to happen October, maybe November. Is that premature? I don't know. But 59 out of 100 on alt season index, and I'll just push that up if you can't see it. So but the fear and greed index sitting at 43 neutral. Now, if anybody remembers June and July time, my memory's terrible anyway, but so I'm not always exact with dates and that lot, so you'll have to forgive me for that. Anyway, there was a nice little crash into fear, and the prices, obviously, especially of altcoins and Bitcoin as well, reflected what was going on in the wider world, which we had two flare-ups. One was, of the Russia-Ukraine. The other was Israel, Iran, and the United States intervention into that, and that pushed the markets right down. Now, as anybody who knows how the markets works knows, it's not bad things happening necessarily, or good things. It's uncertainty that causes prices to crash. Now, a lot of the threat of World War III that we've got, which is a constant thing hanging over us and has to be taken into consideration, is probably priced in. It's more when such things happen, and the uncertainty that is probably having a bit of an impact as well on why we haven't seen alt season happen when people expected it to, and also there's been that sideways chop we've seen happening, even though prices have sort of broke out a little bit but then chopped along sideways. And I think it's just, we do have this constant fear that, look, World War, if something did turn into World War III, it would see people bailing and prices dropping significantly, as people want to make sure they've got liquidity to survive, and they aren't necessarily, that they'll be selling their assets or hoarding gold instead, so I don't know. So we're at a situation now where I was looking to buy Solana, not buying big quantities, just looking to maybe grab a quarter while the prices are at, in pounds, £162. Now, I've got an average. I was buying them up at £98 when they dropped, and in that range up to 110. So I've got a really nice average price as things stand on that. So at the moment, I want to get some more, but as it stands, I've only got limited liquidity myself, and so I've got to be picky with what I buy and when I buy. And right now, with this news hanging over us, it's got that potential to lead us into uncertainty, because even though it's not counted as a direct attack on Poland. What's happened with the drones entering their airspace, and I don't know whether they landed on Polish territory or were shot down or whatever, but that this requires an answer from NATO, because it's potentially another test of NATO's resolve by Vladimir Putin, and they can't be seen to do nothing about it. They have to have some kind of response. So right now we've got the first action, so we're not seeing any real change in prices, but as that develops during the course of the day, there is the potential for things to get a little bit more scary, more saber rattling, more affirmative action being taken. Doesn't mean World War III is going to happen, but what it means is it is going to cause that uncertainty in the market. And the last time we saw that, we got some bargain price crypto, and that is potentially what is ahead of us. I'm not saying it will happen, but what it's meant is I've got a few limit orders in and around little regions where if it spikes down there a bit, I'll be able to sort of improve my positions in Solana, maybe Ethereum, and in a couple of other areas. I've cancelled all those orders because there is at this moment in time a potential risk, even though these good news, these positive news coming out of America, these things tend to dominate, and that cause that uncertainty. So I could find that my limit orders are now too high, and when it dips through them, it could be part of a bigger crash. So I'm like, cancel order, cancel order, cancel orders. Just wait it out, see what happens over the next day or so, over the course of today. Usually I find when it gets to about 4 p.m. UK time, that's when you start seeing major, if there's going to be any fluctuations in price that are significant, they'll occur around that time. So I'm just watching that. Cancelled my orders. I want to get more Solana, as I say. I'm just watching, and I don't know what you're doing. Let me know in the comments if you noticed this, have you taken any action, or are you just going along as normal? I mean, already I'm in and I think a lot of other people are in that situation where it's not really, it's not really a position where you want to be buying too much anyway, and it hasn't been for the last week or so, a few weeks. Prices have been reflecting that, chopping sideways, but I buy in fear, and we are getting closer to, we've dipped into fear very briefly over the last few weeks, just briefly, and that's when I get best value for money. And bearing in mind, I'm buying mainly long term. I do have my alt season strategy also there to be able to provide me, if it happens, with some good returns that I can take profits on, but when it comes to the big ones, Bitcoin, never sell. Ethereum, pretty much a very, very similar mentality to that, although I will admit, I have taken profits on Ethereum, so I'm happy with the profits that I took, and I've been able to rotate them into Bitcoin and a couple of other areas, and start rebuilding the Ethereum as well. I'm quite lucky with that, but as things stand right now, I've cancelled a lot of limit orders on Solana, and a few other things like I mentioned, and I'm just waiting to see what materialises during the course of today, because it is quite big news and it has massive potential to be very scary and cause a lot of uncertainty, and I just want to see what happens over the course of today and maybe tomorrow before deciding whether to make a move. Will the markets make a move before I make a move? Probably. Well, that's the idea, but will they make a move before the end of today? It is quite possible. Just see what, as countries start waking up and coming out and making comments and saber rattling, see what goes on, NATO meetings and all that lot, and then I can decide whether it's worth buying any Solana right now, or whether I'm going to have a better opportunity when the market starts coming down. For those who are day trading, there might be an opportunity now to, sell and just sweep up as there's a dip, but that's not what I do. Mine is, like I say, it's all, as far as I'm concerned, investments. So I'm just watching. I'm not in a massive hurry, so all's good in the world. Or maybe it's not, but when things are not good in the world, I'm buying crypto. So swings and roundabouts, really. Anyway, what are you doing? What do you think of that? Are you buying? Are you waiting? Is this news got absolutely no effect on you whatsoever? Let me know in the comments, and do hit the subscribe button as well. And I will catch you later. I've been Crypto Type. See you later. Bye bye.